Cripple of Inishmaan. It's a play set in the Aran Islands, which is an island off on the western end of Ireland, set in the early 1930s. A very small, close-knit community that is thrown into a frenzy when it is heard that Robert Flaherty, an American director, is coming there to film a film that will eventually become The Man of Aran. And it follows the little adventures of what happens in this little island with these people, and particularly one person in particular, little crippled Billy Clavin, who has dreams of getting off the island and going to the United States and becoming an actor. Well, Martin McDonagh is his own kind of playwright. He's an interesting and fascinating playwright. I've seldom encountered a playwright who has the ability to move from pillar to post within almost a line, who can swing you from one place of emotional response to another, and then back again. It's a play filled with mordant wit, kind of Irish eccentric characters, wild humor, and yet at the same time a tremendous amount of pathos and emotion. You find yourself laughing hysterically, and then within a page you could find yourself tears welling up. It's a perfect Irish theatrical experience in that way. Every play is its own world, and every world is slightly different. The difficulties with this play, of course, is it's extremely complicated. I mean, someone said to McDonagh once that his plays are Shakespearean, and by that I think they meant that those characters that tend to be very complex and do swing emotionally almost line by line. Although he did say that he thought Shakespeare was boring, but that's just Martin McDonagh. I think the challenge of trying to mount a very complex play with a lot of scene changes and what is effectively a 3-week rehearsal period is always going to be interesting. Add to that, you're adding Irish characters, Irish dialect. We brought in a very well-known and celebrated voice teacher and dialect coach in Dudley Knight, who has been here for the first week of rehearsal, working at the actors as an ensemble and also individually, trying to create a sound that will be consistent, and yet you don't want it to be so authentic that the audience can't really understand what's being said. So I think those are all sorts of elements, and we're still at this point, kind of working our way through and cautiously enthusiastic about the final result, which I think is going to be quite exciting. I like Martin McDonagh as a playwright, and I think he's one of the great. I became sort of interested in these Irish playwrights of the last 15 or 20 years because I thought they were writing some of the most interesting, most vibrant stuff, whether it was Conor McPherson or even Brian Friel going back to translations, or Dancing at Lunasa, or things like The Seafarer, or any of these plays. And I think that what's been fun and what's exciting is to bring to life, I think, a play that is really a theater piece that exists for the theater, in the theater, that affects people in the theater. I think people who come to see the play, if they're familiar with McDonagh's work, through, say, films like Seven Psychopaths or In Bruges, they're going to recognize a little bit of the author there, but be surprised. I think people who have never dealt with Irish plays or Martin McDonagh are going to be surprised and find it a funny, moving experience. And I think that people who do know the play or do know the playwright are going to be satisfied with revisiting, I think, a great artist. I would just say that it's been a great joy to work on this play, and I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. I want to sit in the audience and watch it.